I'm now being joined by the Commissioner of Police, who is in charge of elections and who is the head of this election process. As you know, that the police is the lead agency in election security in Nigeria. Commissioner of Police Abayomi Shungle is live for us on the program. Thank you so much indeed, CP, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. How ready are you?
Absolutely, we are good to go.
This sounds like what police always say. I was actually setting a trap for you and you entered in the trap. I know that it looks like a cliche that you are always ready, 100% until something goes wrong.
Well, I think from the explanation, from the layout of what we have put in place, at the end of the day, you're going to agree with me that we are absolutely ready and we are good to go. And if you want me to start laying that out now, I can.
We've got all the time tonight.
So I can.
I know that you've been around monitoring and coordinating election security for quite a while now. You're probably one of the most experienced police officers in Nigeria when it comes to election duty. Give us an understanding. When you say you are ready, what do you mean? Is it in terms of numbers of deployment, or in terms of incident mapping, or in terms of arresting situation, of violence tracking? What exactly do you mean about readiness ahead of tomorrow?
We are ready in terms of strategic planning. When we are having an election, an operation like this, you start with an operational order. The operational order which has been approved for this election by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, is anchored on the multi-layered security approach. Multi-layered security approach in the sense that we have designed all our deployments and all our activities around this security framework, which we have actually started implementing in the last 1 month through pre-election clearance operations, which we carried out at the bordering towns. You know, first we did a risk assessment, which now gave us a clear understanding of what the security situation in Ekiti is actually like. What are the elements? What are the factors? How did they intend
What did you find out in this your risk assessment?
Some of it for operational reasons, I might not want to go on air with it.
But some of which we know, because there was an school abduction in Oyo State. And neighboring states are also worried about that tendency. That is one. This state is sandwiched amongst about 4 or 5 other states: Ondo, Kwara, Osun, and Kogi State. And Kogi State has had its own fair share of insecurity. And there are a lot of violence that has also happened. These are some of the things that are in the public domain. Is there more that you need to tell us?
And that's the reason why we have chosen this multi-layered security framework approach for this operational order. Because just as you have stated, Ekiti is bordering Kwara State and Kogi State. We all know what has been happening in the bushes in those states, which are neighboring to Ekiti State. And we actually went into those forests to neutralize and clear some elements that there are indications that they might want to affect the process, the reason why we are here. We have been able to clear all those ones in the last 1 month. And our deployment, again, is tailored towards the framework, which I stated, because we have like 3 different layers of security cordon, so that just in case if the threat passes or overlaps one, definitely it won't go through the second or even the last one. And this approach also involves inclusion of the elites, inclusion of traditional rulers, community leaders, religious leaders. It also includes the inclusion of the general public through soliciting and getting information, which we have actually used to also neutralize some threats.
CP, what bothers me is your lack of or the inability to digitally and technologically cover Ekiti State centrally and be able to have eyes on the ground. How worried are you about it? Because what you have is mostly a manual process of policing the state.
No. You see, Sheung, I understand you are pushing me to say things that I said.
I'm not pushing you.
I'm
asking you a direct question. You are incapable of monitoring.
No.
Do you have satellite to monitor? Do you have drones to monitor this state during tomorrow's election?
We have, of course, there's nothing wrong if I mention here that we have a drone unit in Ekiti as we speak. That's part of the technology.
Real time that gives you.
Yes.
Where is your control center? Command and control.
No. I can always show you anytime you come around. We meet on the field. We have one set up in Ekiti,
and you can see real time the possibility of violence, the traffic, and everything. Because as far as we know, Ekiti is not gadgeted up to the extent. I mean, there are some states in Nigeria. Like Enugu State, I have seen their command and control, and I see that you can, in fact, there is thermal, there are infrared detecting devices in that state, and it's probably one of the only states aside Lagos that have eye on the ground on every street and every borders of their state. As I know, Ekiti is a rustic place. Probably the intelligence is the intelligence of the people of the area. And that's what I'm asking. I don't know whether the Nigerian police force 2 weeks ago or 1 month ago have installed gadgets around this state to monitor the situation.
Is, you know, some of these equipments, you don't need to actually install them before you can get to use them. You have your OB van outside.
Yeah.
Is it permanently here in Ekiti? You brought it to Ekiti for a purpose. And the same way, we have brought in some of the equipment that we need for a particular purpose. So, you know, this is 2026. Gone are the days where you need to start moving with very huge, big boxes, containers to install certain things. With a briefcase, you can actually move in with the equipment you need and get to do what you want to do. So going back now to the security framework we have on ground, I've been able to explain the first set, the first layer. Then we have also done deployment around the cities and the towns. Every town, we have identified vulnerable areas, high-risk areas. We have in place adequate static patrol, which will serve as deterrent. Then, now going to the real day, the election day, which is tomorrow. We have officers that will be deployed to all the polling units in Ekiti State. Adequate deployment to all polling units. We are going to also deploy to all the collation centers. We are deploying to all local governments. In fact, we have deployed already to all INEC local government offices, the INEC state headquarters. We have also made provision for all INEC staff that will be participating in this election, including the ad hoc staff, the NYC core members. And we are giving special attention and priority to the core members. We have also, in terms of security coverage, we have also made available security for the media as well, for the observers, both foreign and local observers. So that's why I'm telling you that we are ready. And as we are speaking now, we have distribution of electoral materials from the INEC headquarters, from the INEC offices in the local government. They are ongoing to the RAC, to the RAC centers.
So how many officers have you deployed so far?
We have deployed massively and adequately.
Yeah. How many?
Due to strategic and operational reasons, I'm not going to give a
I understand
definite.
that it's 17,000.
I'm not giving a definite figure.
Is that true of you?
I'm not giving a definite figure.
Or you don't just want to
now.
say?
Yes, I don't. I just no. Not that I just want to. I don't just want to say what you have said. But what I'm telling you is that I'm not giving a definite figure now. By the time we get to maybe the collation stage, or when we get to post-election review, then I can tell you, or the Nigerian police will tell you that, okay, we deployed this number of officers for the Ekiti election.
What is happening in Moba?
You see, the thing is, there have been a lot of reports from different parts of Ekiti, from different parts of the state. Some we have been able to confirm. Some even happened weeks ago, which are no longer any threat. But the thing is, we have provided adequate security to ensure that this election goes on tomorrow peacefully, without any ugly incident.
Asking specifically about Moba, are you on top of the situation in Moba? Have you been able to resolve the incident in Moba?
Which of the incidents?
I'm asking you. You are the lead security agency.
Yeah, which of the incidents?
We understand that there are some issues in Moba.
Issues about
violence and issues relating to insecurity.
About the election?
About the election.
That we're planning,
about tomorrow,
or about crime?
About issues relating to election and violence.
I think you need for the police to confirm.
We just want to confirm from you whether or not you have the information or the intelligence around the situation in Moba.
Well, I have not been briefed about any particular situation that required great attention.
INEC says it will deploy more than 2,400 beavers devices and nearly 10,000 election personnel across Ekiti. Security breaches involving not only human, because you've talked about human and the environment generally, but breaches including technology can undermine confidence in the result. There could be issues relating to hacking and taking over the INEC infrastructure. What measures have you put in place to secure beavers devices, the collation center, the result transmission infrastructure, the technology specifically? Because part of policing could also mean cyber policing.
Yes, you know, the distribution of both the sensitive and non-sensitive materials commenced yesterday from the Central Bank of Nigeria here in Ekiti, and we have provided adequate security. We are using the SPU, the Special Protection Units, to escort. We have used them to escort the materials from CBN in Ekiti to all local government headquarters. And as at 6 p.m. yesterday, they all arrived at all the local government headquarters. Then this afternoon, we have also, in collaboration with INEC, we have also activated the distribution of these materials from the local government headquarters straight to the rack centers. And we have adequate police officers, armed men, who are also there. And very early tomorrow morning, the materials will start moving from rack centers straight to the polling units, where they will be, where the ballots will be cast. And we have provided adequate security for all these measures. And shortly before coming into the studio, I still checked the situation updates, and there is no ugly incident that has been reported.
So everything in terms of this election, in terms of violent mapping, everything is calm?
Ekiti is calm, which has been confirmed by the civil society organizations, which they have also made statements regarding that. And from our analysis and from observation, even confirmed by some of the civil society organizations, more people are willing to come out tomorrow to cast their vote because of the high level of confidence they have regarding the security that has been put in place in Ekiti State.
my question about cyber threat.
About cyber threats, the Nigerian Police Force, we have a cyber crime unit, which is actually one of the best on the continent of Africa. So if there is any need to get them involved in any activities that has to do with cyber issues or cyber security related issues, yes, we're going to do that. But as of now, nothing to suggest that there is any negative incidents.
Vote buying. What have you put in place to curtail that? That has become one of the most sophisticated threats to election integrity. And in this age where there are POS machines, we understand now that there are a lot of POS machines also that will be used in paying and transferring money tomorrow. Voter inducement and now use of digital transfers, agents, and coded systems around the voting area. How prepared is the police to detect and prosecute vote buying operations on election day? The politicians and some of these vote buyers are now sophisticated. They use means that will not make you suspect them now.
Well, we just concluded the training for police officers that will be involved in this election. We just concluded that training yesterday. And part of the things that they were open to, or part of the information, or part of the directive they also received from the training includes identifying vote trading. The 2026 electoral law, as amended, has actually made clear definition regarding what constitutes offense under the Electoral Act, which vote trading is part of it. So in this case now, we are not just talking about the person that is buying the votes, we're also talking about the seller. And police officers have been trained on how to identify all these issues. Then we also urge members of the public, once they also notice anything suspicious like that, if time permits, I'm going to give the emergency telephone number through which they can call and also inform the police about that. And anybody that is caught or that is involved in the issue of votes trading will definitely be apprehended, the exhibits will be recovered, and necessary investigation and prosecution will follow.
If you may, we wouldn't mind if you share the emergency phone numbers for the public to be able to have a sense of what it is. Do you have it?
Yes, thank you. So the emergency phone number is 0806 233 5577. Let me take that again. The emergency telephone number for the Ekiti State Police Command is 0806 233 5577. So if there is any information you want to pass to the police in Ekiti State regarding this election, you can reach us on 0806 233 5577. Thank you.
All right, we'll try as much as possible to put it right on the screen so that our viewers can be able to see it. But what constitutes, because there are people who say you don't see them give the money. They're now more sophisticated. Before now, you see people, one person comes with a big purse, and when you vote, you see people who raise their ballot paper to just confirm to the ballot monitor that I have voted for your party. Then he goes behind and collect the money. People say things are now sophisticated more than that. In fact, there are caterers, we understand, that are cooking now, and they will take the food in takeaway packs with pure water, chilled pure water inside coolers, and they are taking it to the polling unit. So as you are arriving, breakfast is already served, and they are preparing for lunch also. Tell me how you will collect my breakfast and lunch and you not vote for our party. That is one of the strategy we understand that is in place. So maybe they are one step ahead of your officers? I mean, how do you detect that? Because vote buying is a form of voter inducement. So instead of us taking it into one single bucket, voter inducement generally, what constitutes voter inducement? Would you allow anybody to bring money? Will you allow anybody to bring food, water, Ankara? Because these are things that, and don't forget, sir, in these states, there's a popular saying, Diboko Sebe. It's a Yoruba word meaning that vote and go cook some soup, meaning that you get the benefit of coming to vote for us.
Okay, I think, Sheon, to better explain what constitutes vote trading is if the producers can pull up on the screen the section of the Electoral Act that clearly states what constitutes that offense we are talking about, so that from the definition of that offense, then we can easily know that, okay, this aspect as explained is actually an offense, or this act does not meet the criteria to say that the offense of vote trading has taken place.
Well, I'm not sure we are able to put that up immediately, but of course, generally, with my knowledge of what the electoral law, vote buying is an aspect of voter inducement. And the police, the law is now tried law that you do not need an extraordinary measure to be able to arrest anybody and the polling unit as you have deemed as committing an offense as enshrined in the electoral law. So, and that's why I'm trying to put up the scenario such that when your officers or when the average Nigerians see this kind of situation, they are able to detect quickly that this person is inducing us to vote for them.
Well, once that is established, of course, our officers have been told on what to do, effect an arrest. You see, every police action in this election will be guided by two important laws. That is, one, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, as well as the Electoral Act, 2026, as amended. So every action of the police will be based on these two laws. It is what the law says is an offense and the procedure that we are going to follow regarding this election.
All right, give us an understanding, and since you're not telling us about the number of officers that you are deploying, and I know that your work will be less because little work would you do in terms of river water bodies, because Ekiti State is not that the geography and the topography of the area is not that complex. No water body that is major compared to states like Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, and the rest. In terms of area surveillance, do you have the air wing of the Nigerian police? Is the Air Force also assisting you? Who are the other sister agencies that are helping you out in this election?
We have the air wing of the Nigerian Police Force on ground, and the air wing is made up of two components. We have the helicopter patrol aspect, and we also have the drone squad. We have them already in Ekiti for this election, and we are going to be deploying them accordingly as the need arises. All security agencies that are members of the Interagency Consultative Forum on Election, they are part of the provision of election security. Talking of the military, it's talking of the Nigerian Police Force as the lead agency. We also have the military, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force. We also have the DSS. We have the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense. We have the Immigration Service, the Nigerian Customs, Road Safety, the NIA, you know, a lot of federal agencies that are members of the Interagency Consultative Forum on Election Security. And role, apart from we are deploying jointly, because every polling station, we are going to see combination of police officers as well as officers of sister security agencies. Regarding the military will take more of the outer layer, as we having the police and the other agencies taking much part of the inner parts of the whole system. So we are deploying jointly, and we are collaborating together to ensure that this election goes on peacefully.
Political thuggery. There's an allegation from yesterday that a major politician and the candidate in the race says that opposition or some other political parties have camped their thugs who are not from here with the intention to foment trouble. And we know, yes, that the candidates have signed a peace accord. But yet we know that a lot of the times it is not the politicians themselves that commits the thuggery or the violence. They use their political thugs to be able to do that. Have you quieted the political thug in this state who a lot of people fear? Or are they on sabbatical now, or they are ready for tomorrow? Do you know where they are?
Okay, regarding the issue of political thugs, you will agree with me that in the past few weeks, there have actually been close to zero incidents regarding political thugs activities. And part of the deployments that we have done under the security framework we have includes, as we speak, we already have police officers of the Special Intervention Squad. That's also another unit, the Police Elite Squad, which I head, and the CTU, the Counter-Terrorism Unit. We have them manning all the roads that both inlets and outlets of Ekiti, all the road that enters Ekiti State, from Kwara State, from Kogi State, from Ondo State, and from Osun State. And the purpose is to put an eye on everything coming into Ekiti. As we speak,
the soldiers are in the perimeters. The military, they are in the perimeters.
I think I will allow the military
your agency is the lead agency. So you need to, you can be able to tell us how you have segregated the duties. Because that's what we understand. The military.
That's just what I'm doing.
All right, sir. So they are supposed to be in the perimeters. Police are supposed to man the polling unit. Is that right?
Maybe you allow me to.
All right, go ahead.
To finish. Police will not only man. We won't just man only. You see, that's what I'm trying to explain. Multi-layered security approach. We're not just going to sit and man the polling units. There are certain layers, there are certain fortress you need to put in place before getting to this polling unit, which includes the roads that entered into Ekiti from the neighboring state. And as we speak, those roads, they have been adequately covered, and everything coming into Ekiti state as we speak, we are seeing them.
Real time,
physically, because we have the CTU and the SIS police officers on those roads. Everything going out of Ekiti, we are seeing them. So I don't see the possibility of anybody bringing any sets of talk into Ekiti.
They said they're already here. They've camped them in the hotels.
By tomorrow, when the election process starts, then let's see if they are going to come out.
Can you guarantee, Mr.
Not.
Shogunle, that every voter, every eligible voter will vote freely, have their votes protected, and see the result determined by ballots rather than fear, money, or force? Can you give that guarantee?
You see, based on the security arrangement we have put in place, I can give that guarantee, or I'm giving that guarantee that every voter that wants to vote tomorrow, that nothing will happen to them. Nothing. They should come out and vote.
You see, this is why this.
And if anybody tries to if anybody tries to come out to try our will, we will ensure that person face justice of the land.
Are we going to see your officers with armbands or headbands or dressed in a way that we need to? Because we've seen it has happened in Ekiti before, where special police and military that are alien, and the authorities couldn't even identify or identify this person, but they were brought in by politicians, it would be said, to scuttle the exercise. Are we seeing you? How do we identify that this is a right police officer tomorrow? Are they going to dress normally, or they have a special armband, or they have their tags? How do we know that this is a fake police officer or an officer that is not supposed to be on duty?
Let me tell you something. As the Commissioner of Police in charge of this Ekiti governorship election, I can tell you authoritatively and confidently that I have a knowledge of where all the police officers that we are deploying in this state, where they have come from, where they are serving. And officers that are from the same state, we have deployed them at a particular local government. So if anything is happening in any local government, we can say that the police officers from this local government are from this state command. Apart from the police uniform, all police officers for this election will be appearing in the police camouflage. So tomorrow I'm going to appear in police camouflage.
The camouflage, not the plane, not the plane.
Not the black.
So everyone, if you don't see you in the camouflage, you are not supposed to be on duty.
Yes, for police officers.
What about politicians who own VIP protection?
I'll get to that now. Then, in addition to the camouflage, we have produced security tags for police officers. We have 4 colors of security tag. You know, we have 3 senatorial districts. So there is a particular color for each of the senatorial districts. So that means anybody wearing this color should not go out of the senatorial district where they have been posted. Then we have the red one, which is very few for people like me that would go around different local
yes, patrol and,
yes. So we have that. Then we have made a press release which we released yesterday on the restriction of movements and restriction of vehicle movements.
From what time to what time?
It's starting 12 midnight today till 6 p.m. tomorrow. But let me state that there is an exam coming up tomorrow. So the students writing that exams, they are exempted. They can use vehicle to carry the students that are writing exams to go to their examination centers. Of course, there are certain documents they will have with them that will show that they're actually students and they are going for exams. So all students that have exams tomorrow, please go ahead for your exams. It is stated in there. Then we have also warned VIPs with escorts or guards that we will not allow them to go to their polling unit with their guards. We won't allow that to go around with their guards.
Tomorrow's election is not simply a contest between candidates or politicians or political parties. It is also a referendum on the credibility of Nigeria's electoral institutions. If Nigerians wake up on Sunday questioning the integrity of the process, would you consider that a failure of security even if there is no violence?
Based on the security approach that we're using, we did this in Anambra November last year. For the very first time in the history of Anambra State, the election was concluded in one day. There was no run over for the very first time. For the very first time we had election in Anambra, there was no gunshots. November last year. For the very first time in Anambra State, we had a peaceful election, a non-violent election. And all this happens because of the strategic planning we put in place.
And is it the same leadership team that governed that?
Different theoretical framework, because the situation in Anambra is different from the situation in Ekiti. It's about understanding what the situation is and putting in place the strategy you want to use in solving the situation.
Can you promise us that the police will not be partial tomorrow?
From the beginning, we have not been partial, and we will not be partial. So police is neutral. And even members of the public, when your reporters go out, I don't know what question they have been asking members of the public, because as we speak, which we have also confirmed from the CSOs, voters in Ekiti State as we speak have given the security agencies high confidence, vote of confidence. They have confidence in the security that has been provided, and that is why a lot of people say they are coming out to vote tomorrow. And I foresee we having a higher voter turnout in Ekiti State tomorrow compared to what we've had in the past.
All right. Before you go, let me take you to the screen. There is a concern about the mapping. Please, if you can proceed, sir. There's a concern about the mapping, and there are those who are worried about what the hotspots and whether or not there are a lot of attention. And these are the hotspots as we have identified: the Kole Oye, Ishori, Dosi, Ekiti East, and Moba. And if you look at the hotspots, they are mostly in the border local government areas. What can you tell us about this mapping?
You see, that's why, at the opening, I told you about the different layers that we are putting in place. In these border areas with Kwara, with Kogi, a lot of the incidents are even happening outside the state. And it's a natural thing, fear that when something is happening close to you, you have that fear that it might come into your own territory. But as we speak, we are putting in place the first layer of this layered security approach. Starts from all these bordering towns, especially the ones with Kwara and Kogi State. We are not expecting much from the borders with Osun State, for instance. Even Ondo, because of the proximity to Edo as well, and some part of Kogi State, but unlike Osun, the border with Osun, we are not actually expecting much there. So we've taken care of all these border areas, including the highways and as well as the forests. In all these places, we have police officers that are camping in this forest just to prevent anything from coming into Ekiti State. So all those have been taken care of. Our risk assessment also shows some of the things that has been indicated on this map.
But not only the hotspots, is also the key battlegrounds where when the contestation is going to be hot. Ikole, Ado-Ekiti, Oye, Efon, Idosi. These are areas that the contest is going to be, and we might not see the kind of violence that can erupt or the kind of criminality that can come up in some of these hotspots might be election related, but some of what we see here might be non-election related. So what is the attention you are giving in that area, in some of these areas? Ado-Ekiti, Kere, Ikole, Idosi. These are heavily voter populated areas.
You see, part of the things we want to achieve now, or in this election, is that we want this election to be violent free. And steps that would make this election to be violent free are already being put in place. And that informs the kind of deployment we are having. We are having deployments that will serve as deterrent, and we are having deployments that will also serve as counter measures. So we've taken note of all those hotspots and what will prevent any ugly incident from happening, which has to do with deployment and response. We are putting them in place.
Mr. Bayomi Shogun, I've held you for far too long, but many thanks so much indeed. I appreciate your time. And I wish you and your team the very best.
Thank you.
In case you need any assistance in terms of getting the information out, we are here to support you and make sure that you succeed. Mr. Bayomi Shogun is the Commissioner of Police in charge of election security. But many thanks for being with us tonight.